is finally cool enough for me to get a good breeze, and I wanted to come out here and do my walk. And I was like, you know what? Let me go live real quick and see how everybody is going, what everybody is doing. So, okay, all right. So it is at the time of this live. It is October, and I have been saying, you know how you had a list of stuff you say, I know I need to do this. So I've been saying, I need to go on and schedule all of my wellness appointments and all that kind of stuff. And so guess what? Guess who finally did it? That would be moi. Yes. Now the funny part is I went on and I started scheduling stuff, and a few of the things I can actually get into next week. But then some of my other appointments, I gotta wait till January. But that's okay. It's okay. Lord willing, the creek don't rise, I will be running to those appointments. But I'm feeling a little bit accomplished. And so that's why I wanted to come on here and actually do this live. Because I wanted to talk about how, I don't know about you, but I am having to put myself on schedules and structure real tight and hard these days so I can just get stuff done. And I was looking at how much I do better when I have my little structure and all that kind of stuff. So one of the things that I do is I call it my daycare schedule. And it's where, I try to set up my routine. Now, with my daily routine, it makes it challenging because it makes me very aware of the times that I slip. And I've never been one of those people that was really big into productivity and all the tracking and stuff, but y'all, the older I get, and because I work for myself, the more I am dependent on all the things. I'm talking about the Pomodoros. I'm talking about Google Sheets so that I can track what I'm supposed to be doing, how long it really took me to do it, and all of this. And I'm saying this because I need y'all to realize that we really only have 2.5 months left in this year. That's a little over 10 weeks we've got left, and we got to get on it. We definitely got to get on it. Hey, how you doing? And so that's, like one of the things that is scaring the mess out of me. I was like, okay, so let me go on and share with y'all. So for instance, if there are things that that you said you were going to get done, I'm not, it could be the New Year's resolutions and all of that. Y'all, it's time to tighten up. Like I said, we have just under 11 weeks left in this year. 11, that's it. So I'm going to be sharing with y'all some of the stuff. Hey, I'm going to be sharing some of the stuff that I'm doing, and hopefully that you could do. And then, let's chat. Let's, do a little something here. Hello, how you doing? So, for instance, let me see here what we got. Can you please help me make a decision? Okay, what's your decision? It depends. I can help you, but you gotta be the one that is making the decision. I can't make it for you. Okay, put it in there, what you got. All right, so anyway, so I'm gonna remind you guys, if you have some, some psychic weight, some stuff that you've been saying, I know I gotta get done, let's kind of like make an accountability statement together so that we can get this done. Okay, all right, so let me see here what you say. So basically, I'm an only child for my parents, and I don't want to get married and have kids. Okay, all right, so why is that a decision that you have to make? It sounds like you've made a decision that you don't want to have kids. And I mean, I'm serious. I just really kind of want you to help me help you. Okay, because it depends. Like, is this your tradition? Is this something that is expected of you? Will a lot of people get hurt, mad, upset, or will it impact a lot of people if you don't get married and have kids? We got to take all that in consideration. I want to say I know you, but I don't. Let's just be honest. So if you can put that stuff in there, I'll be, checking as I'm talking and sharing with y'all some of the stuff that I wanted to, come on here and talk with you about. Okay, but for the most part, I understand. I never got married and I never had kids, and I'm happy. Just being honest. I even did a video on it on my channel talking about I am single and childless, and I'm okay with that. All right. So anyway, what I want to encourage you to do is to break this down into threes, 3 sets of threes, with, well, 4 sets of threes, with the first set being now, because you really don't have a full 3 weeks. But I want you to use these next 3 weeks between now and the beginning of November to get prepared to do the stuff that you need to do. All right. All right. So let me see. Our friend here has said, I'm religious, and being a doctor, I consider my job as holy, and I want to dedicate myself completely to society. Well, that sounds great. So, okay, let me ask you, is it truly a decision? Now, okay, if you guys are just watching this, we got a friend that is asking us to help her make a decision when it comes to if she's going to get married and have children. So I asked her to clarify a little bit, and she says she's and I'm saying she, so I don't know if it's a she. It might not be a she, because I can't, y'all, my glasses, I can't see the thumbnail. My family is concerned because I don't have kids in my family. Bloodline would end up on me, and my parents don't want that. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, so it's a religious and a cultural thing. All right, that will make a little more sense. First and foremost, in today's society, where you have some expectations and and they collide with the decisions you want to make, what I would encourage you to first and foremost do is to look at what kind of alternatives you can have. Do you intend to find an alternative way to support your family if you are not going to have kids? And that doesn't mean that you have to come up with all this money. It means, are you able to help them to develop a community to help you and them, since you're not going to be having children? The next thing is with the whole bloodline thing, what does that mean for your society? Is it simply that your parents want you to leave a legacy, or is it that you want to find a way to have a legacy? This kind of stuff, it matters. And it matters because, first and foremost, the buck stops with you. This is your life to live, and these are the things that you need to take into consideration, as well as what kind of ramifications will this bring on you societally. I don't know where you live, and I don't want you to tell us because for privacy reasons, but if you making this decision, will it cause you physical, emotional, spiritual, abuse or harm? You got to take that in consideration as well, because depending on where you live in these days and kind of stuff, it could matter. So what I'm going to say is, I need you to write down everything. I just want you to brain dump it all. Write it out. And then I want you to start putting like with like. And then I want you to have some conversations. So the things that you need to have a conversation with your family, that goes in one bucket. The things that you are fuzzy on are the arguments, if you will, of why you want to not have kids and you want to just dedicate yourself to the holy work of healing people. Put that in a bucket. And then for the folks who would, cause naysaying or whatever, put that in a bucket, because that's going to help you to understand, is this really an issue with you going against culture? Is this an issue where you have some situations that you're concerned about for your family? Or is this about that 6-word little phrase about, I care about what other people think about me? And that might be more than 6 words, but I just want you to be able to get some clarity for yourself, because before you make a decision, you got to become self-aware. And before you can become self-aware, you've got to be able to get stuff out of your head and into a format that you can look at, with some tangibleness to it, whether it's a piece of paper or screen or diary, whatever. Okay, so I want you to do those things. Okay, and yes, okay, in my culture, social status is respected above all. What I'm doing is not good at all, and yes, I'm going completely against my culture. Okay, so because of that, are you able to practice medicine in another culture? Are you willing to leave your culture? You got to decide what are non-negotiables for you, And what are non-negotiables if you're going to either stay in that culture or leave that culture? And I know that's a big thing, but the decision ultimately comes up to what you can sustain, for how long you need to sustain it to have what you want. Okay? All right. So, and I mean, it's a daunting thing to be in a position where you're asking some lady in the U.S. I don't know if you're in the U.S. or not, but you're asking some lady in the U.S. to help you make a decision. That lets me personally know that this is a big deal. Am I right? Is this a really big deal for you? I mean, it sounds like there's some urgency to it, where your back is against the wall and you need to make a decision to move forward. Let me know if that's, if that's something as well, because if that be the case, then the process needs to be expedited and sped up a little bit more. So as it comes down to it, this is helping you get clarity by brain dumping, helping you to understand the path that you need to take by putting like with like, and then understanding what you need to communicate, what you need to get clear on, and also what you can sustain or what you need to do. Because sometimes your decision, you might make a decision, but it might take you 3 to 5 years to activate that decision. And you got to figure out, do you have not only the tangible resources of whether it be money, shelters, and familiar support, but you got to have the mental and the physical. Can I do this for 3 to 5 years to make this decision real? Because making a decision doesn't mean that everything you're making a decision on is going to immediately happen. And that's one of the things in my 50 plus years that I've had to learn, that when you make a decision, it's not just about the decision, it's also what it takes to enact and to outlast the decision as well. Okay, let's see. Yes, I'm trying to leave this toxic mess, and I'm on my full verse, but being an only child, I don't want to abandon my family. All right, so that's another component. Would your family be willing to move with you out of this mess? And if they were willing to move with you out of this mess, as part of that, you taking them with you, do you think that you could possibly tell them, look, I feel this calling to do medicine. I feel like this is my work, and I don't want to be diverted from that. I don't have this calling to get married and have children. That is something that I'm very firm on. Have that. Let's see here what else she said. But the thing is, I should get married before 27, and I'm 24, which is average for getting married. Wow. Okay. I don't feel qualified to talk to you about your culture. And what I will say is this. As a medical person, biological and spiritual are different. And I think you already know, with lifespan development between 24 and 34, your hormones are going to be doing everything they can to tell you procreate, 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 to the point where they're going to mess with your biome, your physical biome. I mean, everything is going to be working that way. Am I right or am I right? Okay, so there's that. And it's that internal clock ticking of, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. And one of the things that's really big, especially in that age group at being 24, because there's a lot riding on you. Honey, when I was 24, I was engaged to be married. I was finishing up a grad program, and the way my fiance was treating me, I was like, if I get married, this is only gonna go worse. I had major decisions, and so this is kind of reminiscent for me too, because I was like, wait a minute, she's kind of going through the same thing. And of course people were like, well, clock is ticking, you gotta get started on it. Fortunately, I had a parent, my mom. My father's deceased. I had he was deceased at that time. My mom's deceased now, but who understood, and she didn't put all of that pressure on me. She was like, you got one life to live, and you need to live it. I can't live it for you. I'm not going to always be here, and you got to live your life. And so that's what I did. I mean, I'm happy. But like I said before, I can only give you some tools and some resources, because when it comes down to it, you've got societal pressure, you've got cultural norms, You got conversations that need to be made. You got logistics that you got to consider. There's a lot going on. So this is a huge thing that I don't think can be just made at a snap of a finger. One of the biggest things I'm going to tell you, figure out what it takes for you to fulfill whichever direction you decide. Okay? Let's see. Yes, I know, 24. I'm really young. It should be at least 30. But by the point where I reach 29, my parents will rip my uterus out of me because I'm expired according to my parents and my sister. Oh my God. Woo, child. Huh. Man. Okay. I'm not an only child. So that's a lot. First of all, that position is a lot. What do you think should your decision be? In a world where you could have what you wanted, what would your decision be without any kind of hindrances or obstacles from anybody else? If you were put in a vacuum in a room with nothing in it except for you could see and just you, and you were given the directive, make the best decision of what you really want in this moment, what would that decision be? Not taking in consideration other things, because when you make a decision, it can mess you up if you make a decision that's against what you really want deep down inside. I could say in your heart, but that's so But when you're trying to make a decision, you've got to make it where all of you, and when I say all, I'm talking about you, all of you is willing to help you make this decision come to fruition. So that's why I'm asking you that. I mean, based on what you've told me, your decision would be to not have kids and just immerse yourself in work, because you think I'm not saying you think like it's not, but you believe, and because you believe that's all, that really matters, that this is your holy calling. Okay? So if you can be honest with yourself and truly say it, not because you think this is what society wants, and not because you think this might be a phase that you're going through. Understand what the decision is, because you got to get clarity. And the way to get clarity is to first and foremost be honest. I will tell you, for me, now, Sweet Pea, I like I said, I'm not gonna make this decision for you, but I would say for me, given those types of decisions, and like I said, when I was 24, engaged and all this kind of stuff, I did this. And you know what I came up with on the first go? I came up with the fact that I wanted them both. I wanted it all. I wanted to have my career. I wanted to have a family and kids. And I wanted to have this perfect spouse that would help me and help me fulfill my dreams, when the guy that I was engaged to, he just wanted me to be a good showpiece of a wife and make him look good, and started actually getting into competition with me and trying to talk to me crazy about how I should dim my light so that he could shine more. And the funny part is as that started continuing to happen, and I was like, I'm going to be honest with myself no matter what, I finally got to the point where I was like, you know what? I think I want me. I choose me. Now, as I said before, I had a parent that understood, and my siblings, they were like, girl, do you? But I'm in a different culture. So there's that. All right, let's see here. Let me go back and find that one. Let's see here. I'm confused and double-minded. What I really want is time. And that is a scarcity because my parents are forcing me to get married. I believe I might not be ready for a child because obviously I'm young. I don't know if my parents would agree with this. Okay. Well, it sounds like you have been doing, some talking, some thinking about this, which is really good. Okay. And the time component, girl, I'm with you with the time component. Big sis Michelle is like, I think that's wisdom. Now, because I don't know your parents and I don't know what's going on, because, we can't look at what your parents want in a vacuum. We have to take into consideration What kind of pressure are they under? Who's imposing stuff on them for you? What is going on with them? Does it mean that they get ostracized? Does it mean that they lose business or they lose their network? Figuring out a little bit, and even asking them, you know, what is it about me that causes you pain and issues? You know, those types of things. Those are some of the things that I would also, ask. But for right now, I think time is a really good one. So you might decide, give me time. Let's revisit this when I'm 28. That gives you 4 more years. Between now and 28, a lot is going to happen in your life. A lot. I wish it could be 30. But see if you guys can come to 4. 4 years. Negotiate maybe 4. And say, can we revisit this? Because at 28, you're not going to be old. Your eggs are not going to be turned into powder if if you're a female. Try to negotiate for that. And in this 4 years, all the stuff that we've talked about, writing it out, getting it out of your head, deciding what it takes to really get your decision made, start working on it. Start getting your hustle on to work on it. I think that will be something that will be beneficial for you. Because do you realize in 4 years, you could be a whole nother person. I mean, I'm talking about with skill sets and certifications, degrees, and all of that. 4 years between 24 and 28 is a long time. If you can negotiate for 5, that would be even greater at 29. That way you can split the difference between 28 and 30. Okay? 4 or 5 years, totally different person. Because in lifespan, one of the biggest decades of leap is between 20 and 30. And if you're in the medical profession, I'm not lying. One of the biggest developmental is between 20 and 30. Now, the previous between 10 and 20 is going to be the biggest. But the next one after that is between 20 and 30. Take advantage of this time that you're in, because this is the fastest you're going to grow probably in your entire life. And that is why making a decision right now is so big, because making a decision right now is going to affect the entire rest of your life. So the decisions you make right now are huge. Someone like me in my 50s making a decision, it's not going to impact my life as strongly as you will, because I don't have that much more living to do. And there are just certain things I can't do anymore. I can't, have children anymore, and rightfully, I'm a normal, female in her 50s. And so you understand what I'm saying. But doing this thing and negotiating that 4 years, if you can, at least 4 or 5, you can get it to 30, is, I think, one of the ways that you can start on this journey. Okay? I think that if you start with the time component, I think that'll be great. What you think? And so while, I'm waiting, for you to respond, I'm going to continue to, encourage you guys that in this time we can break stuff down. Now, I actually kind of like just got done with one of my my sessions, if you will, for my ADHD, and I'm feeling inspired. And when I feel inspired, I need to help inspire you guys too. So that's another reason why I'm like, y'all get on it. Do what you need to. Break this down into little components so that by the end of the year, you can have this great sense of accomplishment. All right, so our friend is back. It says, it's completely on social status and respect. They've decided on arranged marriage, and my life, oh my God, my life hunting demon is ready to devour me. I am the one who is holding back. I really don't want to do this. I even had thoughts about running away. But as I've said, I don't want to let go of my parents. Oh my goodness. Whew. You're talking to a fiction author, and it's taking everything in me not to snatch this story and run with it. Okay? Because this is great drama. But this is really your life too, and we want to respect that. Okay. So, you know what? Let me check in spiritually, because I don't want to just be giving you stuff out of my mind. And let me check in, because I am now sensing your urgency and your emotions. Yeah, I am. Okay. Wow. And the reason why I say that is because of the word choice. You, instead of saying, I am, I've had thoughts of leaving, you said, I have had thoughts of running away. Leaving and running away can basically be the same thing, but they are totally different in the emotional impact and the urgency of it. Okay, so with running away, instead of leaving, running away denotes a dependency that's still kind of like, in your case, where you're a subordinate as a child. And so your identity, if you are still identifying as the child of your parents instead of as the adult who happens to either be living with or in close proximity with parents, that's going to make a difference. And like I said before, you can kind of like just look at it at the word choices. So instead of saying, I've had thoughts about leaving, but I said I don't want to let go of my parents, that would be different. That would be, this is a person who identifies themselves as a autonomous adult, you know. But then there are, others that, I got a call coming in, y'all. Let me send that. Okay. But then there are other identities that you might be wearing, whether you're aware of it or not, where you might still be seeing yourself as their, and I'm going to assume your daughter, as their little girl. And life without your parents or displeasing your parents is unbearable. So of course there's going to be confusion, because it's the adult mind of doing what you want warring with the child dutiful mind of doing what is expected of you by your parents to be a dutiful and good daughter. Yeah, I hope that's making sense. So you got to get that, the identity issue settled as well. And when I say identity issue, the wonderful thing about that is you can choose. Yeah, you're at that time in your life when you can still choose. Am I going to be the daughter that is, still being parented by my parents to make, my life decisions? Or am I a young adult, new adult, whatever you want to call it, who is making my first forays into making decisions, and thus I've got to let my parents know this is my decision to make, mine, and I will take into consideration what you say, but ultimately the buck stops with me, and I'm a full adult. Those are some of the things that you got to think of. All right, let's see here. I should opt for getting married first and then make children once I'm fit. But the toxic mess returns and demands a child within what? 3 months of having relations. Girl, what? Life don't work like that. There's no guarantee. And let me stop getting all upset. There is no guarantee that you'll get, pregnant in 3 months. Life is not that clean. So that doesn't make sense. So, okay, so this is what I'm getting. I'm getting locally, you need to have some advocates. You need to go, consider finding people locally in your area who are able and willing to support you, whether it be publicly or with support, as friends or as mentors or as aunties, whatever it is, to help you. It may be that you tell them, look, I feel like I am called and I'm going to take a vow to not get married right now. Something simple like that. I don't know if that's simple where you are, but you could go that option as well, because the society you live in, it seems like they got some pretty staunch rules that put a lot of pressure on you at a young age, But again, this is a black woman from the South in the United States. I don't have that society. Take whatever I say with a grain of salt. That's my disclaimer, okay? But try to get some advocates. Try to get some mentors. Try to get somebody locally who can help you go through the stuff that we've discussed. Get clear on what identity you wanna operate in, so that you can stop having all this confusion. And then also get all the stuff out of your head, brain dump it out, so that you can figure out what you really do want. Those types of things. Okay, so that's what I'm going to say, because this is huge. The last thing I'm going to say is, instead of making a decision, make a choice, because a decision is final. Once you make it, there's no turning back. Make a choice, and that choice, it looks like, give me a few years, give me 4 years, give me, whatever it is that I need to get this out of my system, or to make more headway in what I'm trying to do, to fulfill my calling. That's something that I would say. All right. Okay. And I am sending you love and hugs and all this kind of stuff, because baby, this is for real. And whatever choice you make, hopefully it will help you to get to a point where you will make a decision that will impact the rest of your life for the better. Okay? Well, kisses to you. Thank you so much for sharing all this with us. I appreciate you. All right? Okay. And keep us posted. Come back to, bookmark my channel, and let me know, because I'm invested now, honey. I want to know. Okay? Come on through and come back and let me know, because yeah, I am all for living your authentic life, but I can't really I can't really tell you to do the same, because I don't live in your society, and my authenticity in my society looks different from your authenticity in your society. And so I just really kind of want to put those caveats on there, that I can understand, but I can't, because I'm not lived in that society with those kind of rules. Wow. Okay, so your parents just even bringing you into the world was something. You might want to talk to them about that. Like, who says that I'm going to be able to do this? So if I get married at 24 and I can't produce a child in 90 days after marriage, what's going to happen? I could just go on and do what I need to get myself really set up well, and help y'all get set up, and we can revisit this at 28. That would be me. For me, but it was Mother Mary who gifted me with the money. Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, I see what you're saying. So, yeah, there's a lot of religious components involved that are very complex. So I'm going to definitely say, get clear on what you identify, or who you identify as. Get all the brain dumping out. I'm just repeating the stuff I've already said. And you got to have some authentic conversations, because you can't really make a decision when you're making assumptions. Okay, so that's going to be another thing. Exhaust all your assumptions. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna read that one out loud. Okay, I see the dynasty strategy in this. Oh my. Hey, you do what you think you need to do, and that's what I'm gonna say on that. Because if that's the way you gotta move in your space, then that's the way you gotta move in your space. And if y'all are watching this later, y'all, it's going down in the comments. You need to go and look at the live chat, because it is going down in the comments. No. Reason why to what you just said, honey, keep your mouth shut. Don't tell people, and they won't know. Okay? You do what you gotta do. All right? That's what I'm gonna say. You do what you gotta do. But ultimately, your business is your own. My grandmother used to have this saying too, and she would say, "Your business get out because you tell it." Now, this was prior to social media, where everybody got a camera and everybody can see what you're doing. But I think in certain regards, that still remains the truth, that your business gets out because you tell it. So don't tell your business. Keep it close to your chest and move the way you need to move, so for your sanity, your peace, and your calling. Okay? Because there is nothing worse than living a life that is not true to who you know yourself to be. It just isn't. It's hard. It is hard. So that's what I will say on that. All right. All right. So, uh, oh, also look and see if there are, a financial component, because a lot of times all this stuff that you're going through, a lot of times it comes down to the money. I'm just being honest. And it could be where they talking about, oh, it's respect, this is what people, what's the business deal? What's the financial, gain to this? Because if you don't understand that either, then you're going to be rolling uphill hard, so you got to take that in consideration too. All right. I want to make sure, Big Sis lets you, gives you food for thought, and gives you, what you really need to kind of consider. Okay. All right. So I am not going to stay on here much longer, but yeah, I was really excited. I wanted to make sure to remind y'all that we have less than 12 weeks left. I think I said 10 and a bit. But it's somewhere between 11 and 12 weeks left in the rest of the year, okay, at the time of this recording. And so what I'm proposing that you do it in 3 weeks. So my friend that's hanging out in the comments with me, give yourself the next 3 weeks to get this resolved. Because if you don't, it'll just keep lingering to the point where your back will be against the wall, and then the powers that be will try to take your decision-making powers from you, and then you will feel violated. Okay, so give yourself the next 2 to 3 weeks to get definitive action on what you're doing. Okay, I hope that helps. Let's see here. Thank you. That was a good chat. I am a believer in Jesus and in the true God's name. Let that be a good decision. Yes, honey. Honey, let me tell you, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Okay, you can. And when you asked, I think you said something about Mother Mary. When you ask, Mother Mary to help you, she will intercede on your behalf as well. So definitely employ everything you have. The fact that you caught me on a live when I wasn't thinking about doing a live, and I was like, it's nice outside, I won't get hot. It lets you know that your steps are being ordered. Because somebody that doesn't have any skin in the game, meaning I can be as objective as I need to, was willing to give you, some insights, Let's see here. We do have a lot of family assets, both money and gold. Therefore, money won't be an issue. Oh, no, I'm talking about for power and prestige and all of that. A lot of times, historically, women were used, and I said used, I meant that, were used to help the wealthy either retain, keep, or advance their political, their social, and their financial power. And so I'm not, saying just that it's about your parents gaining wealth by marrying you off. No, I'm talking about really look at the financial situation. Because a lot of times, 9 out of 10 times, you can find some kind of financial component about why people are moving the way they're moving, especially in, the joining of families. Okay, so take that into consideration as well. And you know what you never did? You never said anything about you liking the proposed person. I don't know if you know who it is, or if it's just they're like, we're going to arrange this. I mean, do you know the person? Have you been in knowing about this situation for a while? Sometimes families will make these things when you're young, and you'll know about it. So there's a lot, to consider, with that. But a lot of times when you have shown due diligence to go through the different components of what's really at the source and the heart of the matter, it helps you to make the better decision. It could be where, depending on how if you know the other person, y'all could be like, look, we're going to go and get this marriage done. We're going to tell people we tried, and then we're going to do what we need to for the next 4 years, and I'm going to get my stuff, and he's going to get his, and then at around 30, because we've had time, then we'll do, we'll try. There are many different choices that you can make once you've made, your decision, yay or nay. Let's see. Oh my God. Yeah, I was confused, and I thought about watching YouTube to get me relieved. And the first thing I saw was your live. I don't think no, it's not. There are no coincidences. And that is one thing that I was actually reminded of leaving my, session, and they were like, "You have stuff to give to the world. Give it." And I was like, "Okay." And I was driving by my favorite little walking area, and I was like, "It's beautiful outside. I'm not hot. I'm gonna come and do a live." So you know what, little sis, this was meant to be. Okay, this was meant to be. And again, please let me know. Don't let me be out here worried and thinking about, because the way my mind fixates on stuff, I'll be wondering what happened. So you gotta come back and let me know. Like I said, bookmark this. I'm not even asking you to follow or like. I'm just saying, please come back and let me know how it happens or how it turns out. Let's see. Oh, okay. Okay, y'all get deep with it. So y'all get detectives and everybody to vet them, to check them out. That's good. That's really good. Well, if you, like I said, if you know that person, okay, that's good. Well, if you know that person, y'all, reach out. Y'all have a conversation and see. Maybe y'all might be on the same page. Maybe y'all might be like, okay, we're gonna go and get married. So the fam bam, and in my neck of the woods, fam bam is another word for family. In the culture, whatever. So the fam bam will leave us alone, and he might be like, okay, I agree to what you proposing, because we young, we got time, and you can continue to do your stuff, and I'll continue to do mine, and then in about 4 or 5 years, we'll settle down and give them a family, and all that kind of stuff. Because from what I understand, is your culture kind of like when you get pregnant, the mothers or one side of the family comes and moves in to live with you to help you with the kid is or children? Is that my understanding? I don't know. I don't want to make assumptions, but I have heard of that. Because if that's the case, then yeah, y'all need to y'all need to wait if this is what you want to do. That's, I'm just saying. I'm not trying to give you. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just putting stuff out there for you to consider. For you to consider. Okay. All right. And so for anybody else who has made it to this point, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This blessed me. Being able to come on here and talk with somebody who going through. And I'm going to ask you guys, if you made it to this point, please send prayers for her. Because I am going to be sending prayers. Baby girl, I'm sending prayers for you, your family, and your life. I'm serious. I don't pray prayers that just, hit the ceiling. I'm praying with you, okay? No, if we want help there. Okay. Good. Okay. This you know what? It's not sounding as bad as it could be. So that makes me happy too. But I'm definitely, like I said, I'm gonna send prayers for you, for the way to be made smooth. It says that, the Lord will bring the high places low, meaning that he'll bring the craggy mountains low where it's easy to walk your path. And so I'm gonna actually, pray for you to be able to do that as well, because it's hard, especially at this time of your life and the decisions that you got to make. And the thing is, you're ahead of a lot of people. At 24, I knew there were things I wanted to do, but I didn't have a quote unquote specific calling. But I knew there were things I wanted to do. And so for you to know that you want to be of service to people, to help them medically, I think that is angel kissed. Yes, I do. I really do. So, yes. So you guys, please send a prayer for our dear little sis here and get on it. I want y'all to use these next 3 weeks to get some action going. Then that's going to put you into around the second week of November. That second week, I need you to be continuing to act out the plan of what you're getting done. You should be starting to track to get movement on some of the stuff. For some of y'all, you said you was gonna, lose 10 pounds. Let's do it. Do you realize if you just focus on losing a pound a week, which is doable, but you focus on releasing a pound a week the healthy way, you will have achieved that and possibly more by the end of the year. It is not too late. This is the year of 8. This is 2024. If you add 2 plus 2 plus 4, you get 8. 8 is a year of power. It's a year of swiftness. Use the energy of this year to help you move and help you to finish strong and swiftly. use this energy of this year, you know. Oh, I'm sorry, you said something. We're observing him for 6 months, and he did deem to be a good person, and we had like marvelous 3 conversations, and he's sweet. Oh, very good, girl. Okay, this is what I'm gonna say. This is what Big Sis Michelle is gonna say. If you can, have a conversation with him and be honest, and be like, look, this is where I am, this is where I'm leaning. But if you're willing, let's come to a mutual decision, okay? Because if you put that investment in, you owe him that too. I didn't know, that you had actually met someone and all this kind of stuff. So I think this is a joint decision, especially one that you need to make considering the other person. Because even if y'all get to the point where you're like, we don't want to marry each other, if you would have made that decision on your own, there might be repercussions to that where you cause that other person pain, in their heart. And not because they might have loved you or whatever, but rejection is a powerful thing, and so that's the mature thing I'm going to ask, because you have somebody else involved to do that. Thank you all the others of your time prayers. Okay, thank you so much. All right, great. Okay, so you guys, believe it or not, I have got to go. I did my 45 that I thought I was going to do, and I had a wonderful time talking with. Now I'm gonna try to read this, y'all. I'm struggling because I'm looking at this, and it's a lighter thing. Okay, there once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was. Oh, that's cute. So that's the name of our dear sis. Okay, I was like, it's so small, but I managed to read it. So thank you, precious. Thank you, sweet pea, for helping me, and giving me something to talk about that was immediately useful, hopefully, to someone while I was doing this live. And come back, check back in. I'd love to talk to you again, and I definitely want to know how things work out for you. All right, so you guys be blessed. Understand that we can make use of this power of this year. It's not too late. We've got 11 or 12 weeks at the time of this recording to do it. And even if you're watching this well past then, just take it. There's this book I've talked about on my long form videos. It's called the 12-week year. So do you realize that you could get the equivalent of a year's work done between now and the end of the year? 12 week, using the 12-week year pattern. Yeah, break it down into sets of 3, 3 weeks apiece, and have goals. The first one I told you is prep and practicing taking action. The second one is going to be continuing to take action and tracking. The third one is going to be reevaluating what you do, so that you can make adjustments to be more effective and efficient with the action you're taking. And then the fourth one is going to be landing the plane, bringing it home, making the final push to achieve the goals that you said that you were going to achieve. And then guess what? You just rinse and repeat it again in those sets of 4. And you'll be amazed at how much you get done. Are you going to get all of it done just like I said? No, because you got to practice, you got to get better at this. But will you get more done than you would have if you had not done this with a specific intention and a goal and a system and a process? Probably not, So there you go. Oh, Jessica Miriam. Oh, that's a powerful Miriam now. Okay, biblical there. All right, my sweet, precious, beautiful Jessica Miriam. Because I was squinting and I was like, oh, okay. I can see the name. So Jessica, be blessed. Understand that you are not alone. And like I said, girl, I'm going to be journaling and praying for you because this is a real decision that's going to affect the rest of your life. And what I want you to have is I want you to have joy, because joy, is power. I don't necessarily say you're going to have happiness every day, but when you have joy, you get joy because the joy comes from you having made your choice or your decision by doing what you could. And this just came to me. I talked about this on another video recently, where in life you have 2 types of people, but the third type of person makes use of both of these other 2 types. And one of them is called the maximizer, and the other one is called the satisficer. The maximizer is the person that does the stuff that I just said. When you're trying to make a huge life-changing decision, you weigh out all the pros and cons, you go through all the different arguments, you have the necessary conversations, you build in the necessary resources and time that it will take to achieve it. Okay? So the maximizer is looking for the maximum bang for the buck for the decision. Okay? This means that you're doing pros and cons, you're doing all the research and evaluating so that you can have the best choice of what is there. Okay? Now, the other one is called the satisficer, like satisfaction, the satisficer. And this is the person who develops a base level of what is the criteria and the standards. It's kind of like they're non-negotiable. This is the level. As long as it's here or above, I can go with it. It's kind of like figuring out what can I live with, and what can I do that will keep me where I don't want to pull my hair out, you know? So that's the satisficer. They understand what are the criteria and what are the standards. And then anything above that, they're willing to deal with. That person, unlike the maximizer who is about decision making, you know, a decision is when you make a decision, you can't turn back and go back. The satisficer is all about having choices and options because, like I said, they have a baseline of what they're willing to deal with. Y'all gotta sneeze, sorry. Whew. Okay, just because I need to, it went away. It's shy. Anyway, the satisficer has their criteria and their standards. So, and Jessica, if you're still with me, use that. Put down, is this a maximizer situation, or can this be a satisficer situation? That's the third type of person. They understand these two types of ways of being, and they are able to discriminately choose which one I'm going to use for which one. Okay, so you may want to do that as well. And I'm not trying to throw too much at you, but it just came to me that I might need to, you know, either tell you about that or remind you. Okay, so take those into consideration too. And for anybody else who's watching this as well, this is going to help you navigate through life, because a lot of times we're trying to make decisions when we should be making choices that get us to the best decision. That means we should be acting like a satisficer, where we have a baseline criteria and standard, and then we have the psychic freedom, meaning that the weight of this is not on your mind. We have this psychic freedom that allows us to enjoy, experience, engage in, without a lot of remorse, the different choices. Because when you make a choice, you can always go back and make another choice if that one doesn't work for you. But when you make a decision, it's a final thing. And for some of the stuff in our life, we need to make choices and have those experiences to help us have a better informed, maximized, you know, the maximizer dashboard, if you will, of options to make the best decision. Okay, it's kind of like going to saying you're going to be an athlete and you've never done whatever this athletics requires, but you're expected to make the field goal, to hit the home run, to make the touchdown, to win the race with just one time having done it at bat, at home, or whatever, you know, and everything is riding on you making this one thing, you winning, you know, at this one try. That's a lot of weight. Whereas you could be doing like a satisficer, having your minimum criteria and standards, and practicing, getting better, understanding that my minimum is I am going to strive to do this, I am going to learn to do that, I'm going to build this particular muscle, I'm going to learn how to do this or XYZ, you know, those types of things. And when you look at it in that context, hopefully you'll understand that, yeah, it makes sense to be the third type of person, where you can maximize when you need to, and you can satisfy when you need to, and you can know when each one is required. All right, So with that being said, y'all, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, this has blessed me. This has blessed me so much. Thank you all. And I am just sending out love, hope, and support to you. And I pray that you get all of the things that are good for you and good to you. So I want you to go out and I want you to do well so you can be good. All right? Talk to you later. Bye.